If I could file the appeal now, I would. There's no surprises coming here. It's much of the same that we've seen in New York, and I'll be loud and booming right after we get the decision. I mean, I don't have high hopes. I do believe that there is some, uh, ethics left. I hope that Judge Engoron sees through this, but quite honestly, I've seen it time and time again. I've been on weeks and weeks and weeks of trial in New York, and the corruption runs deep. The Trump derangement syndrome, frankly, runs even deeper. And they can't see straight. They can't apply law to fact. There was absolutely no laws broken. People made money. Their statements of financial conditions were undervalued, but they'll figure out a way, a loophole, even using a consumer fraud claim and not giving us a jury.
There, Alina Habba not having a lot of hopes for Donald Trump in the civil fraud trial. She does not have a lot of hopes or a lot of experience or a lot of skill in the legal area. She is out of her depth, and Donald Trump soon might be out of money as a result of choosing her to represent him in some of these cases. But in any event, we do expect that verdict is going to be coming today, and it looks like it's going to be bad. The only question really is how bad? And the answer could be really, really, really bad. I mean, he owes almost $100 million already to E. Jean Carroll. That could be small potatoes compared to what he ends up getting fined. People are talking about the potential end of the Trump organization as a business entity, certainly at least in New York. And so with all that in mind, here is her trying to make the case for how Donald Trump has himself helped New York.
It is beyond corrupt. And I'm telling you, there was absolutely, not only was there not evidence, there was evidence to the contrary. The evidence showed that the Trump organization helped the city of New York, employs thousands of people, pays hundreds of millions in employment taxes. And now they're going to push them out of a state that he helped build because politics. It's so sad, Eric. It's a really sad part of our country. And it's really made me disappointed in my bar.
Yeah, so if you are not a lawyer, which she barely is, maybe what she said there makes sense, Alina Habba, but they're not pushing him out for politics. Maybe there's some politics in there. I doubt many of the people involved in this case like him, but they're getting a little bit of an assist from the fact that his organization under his direction has routinely lied about money, lied when it would benefit them in a variety of different ways. And the thing about the law, and I, again, didn't go to law school, but I have watched most of Suits, is that paying employment taxes or employing people doesn't mean you get to just break the law. It's not like that balance is out or something. That's not actually how it works. That's not a good legal defense, which is why she is so depressed this morning. So we have more, including a reaction from Donald Trump. But Brett, what do you make of this?
Well, Alina, I hate to break it to you using some of my mentor Ben Shapiro's terms, but tax don't care about your feelings. You're very angry. I understand that. You've embarrassed yourself in situations where you do things like forget to ask for a jury trial, you moron. Her gripe is going to be about how much money he pays because they already know and have concluded that he has committed this fraud. It's just how much we want to punish him for it. And her claim that Donald Trump built up this great stuff in New York City, I've got a workshop you need to attend. It's the children's television workshop because there are multiple Sesame Street bits from back in the day with a character named Donald Grump. And even back in the 80s, they knew Donald Trump was taking people's homes away and building horrible condo complexes that made people either go bankrupt or go homeless or both. Like this is Donald Trump's reputation. She's trying to deny it. And then at the end of the day, all these Trump people just want you to what? Feel bad for the billionaire who cheated his taxes, even though if you cheat your taxes, you go bankrupt? Yeah. They want a double standard. They can't have it.
100%. Like, again, I hate talking about anything having to do with consistency or hypocrisy because we already know one of the foundational laws of physics of our political world is that they do not have principles. They have positions that they take for right now. And if that's not a good position to be in later, we're just going to switch it. But the idea that yeah, okay, maybe crimes were committed, but we did other good stuff. So have you ever seen them apply that to a Democrat? They do that, oh, maybe Biden got $5 million from Ukraine, which he didn't. We'll be talking about that later in the show. But he's served his country as a senator for literally decades. I guess it's all even. And it would be one thing for this sort of like just always let the rich and powerful in society get away with whatever they want position to be held, I don't know, by like the Democrats or something, but supposedly the Republicans are critics of the elites in society. They don't like entrenched power and all that. And yet whenever the choice is presented to them to stand with the powerful, well-connected and rich or against them, it's weird. They just always end up with the wealthy. It's so weird how that works out. But speaking of unfortunately wealthy, at least as of right now, maybe not later today, but we'll find out. Here's what Donald Trump had to say on the day of his perhaps financial judgment day. It has been leaked all over the place like a Russian hotel room to the fake news media, probably by the corrupt judge and or attorney general, that a decision on the never used before consumer fraud statute that has been illegally weaponized against me will be released on Friday. Judge Engoron wrongfully ruled against me before the trial even started, said that Mar-a-Lago was only worth 18 million. Bear in mind, Trump says it's worth 100 times that, which would literally, I think, make it one of the most valuable buildings on the planet. Blah, 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 dark, sad day, blah, blah, no damages, no victims, only success, witch hunt. So, like the same non-defense as always. And that sort of argumentation on social media obviously did not save him with E. Jean Carroll either of the times. It has nothing to do with the allegations against him, so it cannot be a defense against them. And yeah, so it looks like it's probably gonna be tough for him. Remember, they've asked for $370 million as a penalty against him. So you might think, well, maybe that's the upper limit, and sure, I mean, that seems reasonable, but bear in mind, E. Jean Carroll did not ask for $83.3 million. She asked for a small fraction of that. It's a different sort of thing. That said, it could end up being really bad for him. And I'll also throw out, before I get your thoughts, Brett, that he's already had this week a little bit of bad legal dues in that Eileen Cannon, who we have criticized in multiple instances for seeming to be biased towards Donald Trump, he after all did give her the position, has denied his motion to delay deadlines in the stolen or allegedly stolen classified documents case. And so that is still on track. Doesn't mean that it won't be delayed later, but a couple of bit different hits coming to him legally. Brett, what do you make of all that?
I mean, that's what it comes down to, is even his seeming allies, the people who are not Democrats, who didn't just materialize because they have some kind of political ambition toward that is contrary to Donald Trump's own political ambition. Like, they're still saying, nobody, you're wrong. Like, that's the kind of America you should be happy about. The one that seems to stand up despite the possibility of corrupt intent. Like, Donald, the way that he's accusing Democrats, by that logic, his judge should be nicer to him. That's not what's happening. He keeps losing all the cases. He seems to be lying about everything. And so he's gonna complain. The thing to me that's always shocking is that folks say Donald Trump's such a winner, such a positive, or such a strong man, but all he does is commit crimes, get caught, it seems, and then complain about it like he's working the refs on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, it's in a time when he is starting to have some legal ramifications, it I think buttresses the argument we're making right now that that's a bad strategy. But I sort of get on some level why he does it, because not really providing any evidence that he hasn't broken the law, but meanwhile just trying to win over his base has generally worked for him. He's remained popular despite all of the evidence of criminality. It's worked for him for a very long time. It just might not be working anymore.
Yeah, really quick, like, people bringing the case can be politically motivated. All these district attorneys or prosecutors that are bringing the case, a lot of them are elected and are partisan. So bringing the case in many situations can be partisan, can be politically motivated, and that's bad. Mm-hmm. But Donald Trump losing those cases, that nullifies whether bringing the suit was good or bad, because the law decided that he was in the wrong. So all of those arguments go out of the window every time he loses a case.
Yeah, if you accept the legal system. But if you believe that it only is legit when it rules in favor of Donald Trump, then perhaps not.
Yeah.
And with so much being contingent on whether it helps or hurts Donald Trump for tens of millions of Americans, I don't know, that ties into his defense. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.